Okay, to sew the waistband together, we are going to take the edge sides. I didn't weave in my ends yet. I cut them really small by accidentally, so don't do that. Leave them long so you could weave them in at the end. But what we're going to do now is connect them. So this is my right side. So you're going to take your right sides together and fold it so that they are matched up perfectly on the edges, matching up with the first and the last stitches. And if it helps, you could, it's hard to see here, but you could slip stitch that first stitch here. And then you could slip stitch the last stitch on the other side. So you could slip stitch the first stitch here with the last stitch on the other side. And then that way you could have a reference point when you connect these two together, and you're basically going to do what you did with the pouch. You are going to line them up, and the first two stitches you are going to make a slip stitch between the corresponding stitches all the way down to the end when you get to the slip stitch, and then cut your yarn and fasten off. Okay, so line up those first two stitches on the corresponding sides and insert your hook into that first stitch. And then the first stitch on the other side as well. And now we are going to reattach our yarn by placing it on the hook and pulling through and chaining one. Okay, so now we are going to go into the next stitch and the next stitch on the other side. And these are a little bit rougher since they are in the edges, so don't worry about going into the back loops, and you want this to be more secure anyway. Slip stitch there. Go into the next stitch, and then the next stitch on the other side. And since we're working with stripes here, it might be a little tricky. That's why we like to use the stitch marker at the end so that we line up each stitch with the corresponding stitch. That way the black lines are with the black lines and the blue lines are with the blue lines, and so on.